Think and Grow Rich, a modern guide to wealth and success. Introduction. If you're looking to change the way you think and approach life, this is the right place. Success and wealth aren't just for a lucky few. They are within reach for anyone willing to put in the effort, focus on the right habits, and make the right decisions. The journey to success isn't about waiting for the perfect opportunity or hoping things will fall into place. It's about making intentional choices every day that get you closer to your goals. Whether you're just starting or already on your path, the strategies you'll find here are designed to help you grow and succeed. Imagine being able to break free from the fears and distractions that hold you back and starting to build the life you've always dreamed of. Picture waking up every day knowing exactly what you need to do to move closer to your goals. This is all possible if you shift your mindset and take control of your actions. This guide is about making small, practical changes that will lead to big results. It's about forming the right habits, building self-discipline, and taking the right steps each day to achieve real success. This isn't just another motivational speech, this is practical advice, things you can actually use right now to start seeing changes. It's time to stop letting life happen to you and start making life happen for you. The future you want isn't something you wait for, it's something you create. Stick with me as we explore the steps, habits, and strategies that can help you grow, succeed, and make your dreams a reality. Are you ready to take control of your future? Let's get started. Chapter 1. The Mindset of Limitless Possibilities. When you look at your life and think about the future, what comes to mind? Are you filled with excitement and anticipation, or do you feel overwhelmed and uncertain? Your mindset, how you think and perceive the world, has a tremendous impact on where you end up. It shapes how you respond to challenges, how you pursue your goals, and how you see your potential. The idea that you can achieve anything you desire isn't just a motivational quote, it's a mindset that can transform your life. For many people, the thought of achieving greatness feels like something far off, reserved only for those who are lucky or have special talents. But in reality, the key to success lies in the way you think. When you begin to adopt the mindset of limitless possibilities, doors open. You start to see opportunities where others see obstacles. You start to believe that everything is possible, and that belief shapes your reality. The mindset of limitless possibilities isn't something that magically happens overnight. It's a shift in how you view the world and yourself. It's about letting go of the belief that there are limits to what you can achieve, and instead embracing the idea that you are capable of more than you can imagine. This mindset doesn't mean that everything will always be easy, or that success will come without hard work, but it means that you believe in your ability to handle challenges and create the life you want. So much of our lives are shaped by the stories we tell ourselves. If you believe that your circumstances are holding you back, that your past defines your future, or that you aren't smart enough or talented enough to succeed, then those beliefs will limit your potential. But when you change those beliefs, when you truly believe that there is nothing you can't accomplish, you open up a world of possibilities. Imagine waking up every day with the thought that today is full of potential. Every conversation, every action, and every moment could be an opportunity to move closer to your goals. When you start thinking like this, you begin to see the world in a different way. You stop focusing on what's not working or what's not possible, and you start to focus on solutions, on what you can do today to get closer to where you want to be. It's a mindset shift that empowers you to take control of your life. It's easy to get stuck in the belief that success is something that happens to a select few. We see people who appear to have it all: wealth, fame, influence, and wonder what makes them different. But the truth is, these people don't possess anything you can't achieve yourself. They didn't start with more than you. They simply believed that they could make their dreams a reality. That belief, that mindset, is what propelled them forward. The mindset of limitless possibilities is built on the understanding that your future is not defined by where you are right now. It's not defined by your current circumstances, your past failures, or even the people around you. Your future is defined by the choices you make today and the belief that you can take the actions needed to create the life you want. This doesn't mean ignoring your current reality or pretending that everything is perfect. It means acknowledging where you are and deciding that it's only temporary. You have the power to change it. One of the most powerful aspects of the mindset of limitless possibilities is the ability to turn setbacks into stepping stones. It's normal to face challenges along the way, but it's how you respond to those challenges that determines your success. People with a limited mindset see failure as the end, as proof that they're not good enough. But people with a mindset of limitless possibilities see failure as part of the process, as something to learn from. They don't give up. They adjust, learn, and keep moving forward. If you've ever tried to learn something new, whether it's a skill, a sport, or even a new language, you know that it's not always easy. There will be moments when you struggle, when you feel like giving up. But the difference between those who succeed and those who don't is persistence. Success isn't about never failing. It's about continuing to take action even when things aren't going as planned. With the right mindset, setbacks become lessons, and challenges become opportunities to grow stronger. The mindset of limitless possibilities also encourages you to take risks. This doesn't mean jumping into dangerous situations or making impulsive decisions. It means stepping outside of your comfort zone and trying things that scare you. It means being willing to face uncertainty and knowing that you can handle whatever comes your way. Taking risks is part of personal growth. It's where the magic happens, where you push yourself to be more than you thought you could be. Every time you take a step into the unknown, you grow, and you prove to yourself that you are capable of more than you ever imagined. In many ways, life is about learning how to overcome your fears. Fear is something that everyone experiences. It's a natural part of being human. But what separates those who achieve success from those who don't is how they handle fear. People with a limited mindset let fear control them. They avoid taking risks, making changes, or trying new things because they're afraid of failing. People with a mindset of limitless possibilities don't let fear stop them. They acknowledge the fear, but they don't let it control their actions. They take action despite the fear, knowing that growth lies on the other side. Building a mindset of limitless possibilities starts with small steps. It starts with shifting the way you think. Instead of focusing on what you can't do or what you don't have, start focusing on what you can do and what you can create. Change your inner dialogue. When you catch yourself thinking, "I can't do this," challenge that thought. Ask yourself, "What if I could?" Or, "What would I need to do to make this possible?" This simple shift in perspective can change everything. Another way to cultivate this mindset is by surrounding yourself with people who inspire and encourage you. The people you spend time with have a huge impact on how you think and feel. If you surround yourself with people who have a limited mindset, who focus on the negative or tell you what you can't do, you'll start to adopt those same beliefs. But if you surround yourself with people who encourage you, who believe in you, and who are also striving to create their own success, you'll begin to adopt their mindset. They'll push you to grow, to think bigger, and to take risks. The mindset of limitless possibilities is all about believing in your ability to create the life you want. It's about realizing that no matter where you are today, you can change your future by changing the way you think. The opportunities you seek are out there, and with the right mindset you will see them. You'll have the courage to take action, the confidence to face challenges, and the resilience to keep going even when things get tough. The journey to success doesn't start with resources or connections. It starts with belief. The belief that you can achieve anything. When you believe that there are no limits to what you can accomplish, the world opens up. It's a mindset that you can build every day, and as you do, you'll find that success is not something that happens by chance. It's something that you create. You are the one who determines your future, and with the mindset of limitless possibilities, There is nothing standing in your way. Chapter 2. The 5-minute rule. Small actions, big impact. Time is one of those things we all seem to never have enough of. We're constantly juggling multiple tasks, and the thought of adding one more thing to the list can be overwhelming. But when you break it down, there's an interesting truth about time. You don't need hours to make a change. Sometimes all it takes is 5 minutes. In fact, the 5-minute rule is one of the most effective ways to break through procrastination and start making progress toward your goals, no matter how busy or overwhelmed you feel. The idea is simple. Instead of telling yourself that you need to set aside a large block of time to work on something, commit to just 5 minutes. It might sound too easy, but it's the key to overcoming that initial resistance. When you're faced with a task you've been avoiding or something that feels too big to tackle, 5 minutes is an incredibly manageable amount of time. And once you start, you'll find that 5 minutes often turns into much longer because you've overcome the hardest part, starting. Think about it. How many times have you put something off because you felt like you didn't have enough time? You tell yourself, "I'll do it later when I have more time," but then the day slips by and you've accomplished nothing. The 5-minute rule works because it removes that barrier. It takes away the pressure of needing a big chunk of time and replaces it with a small, achievable goal. When you commit to just 5 minutes, you're allowing yourself to take the first step without feeling the weight of a larger task. And often, once you get going, you find that you don't want to stop. Let's say you've been putting off organizing your closet for weeks. You've been thinking about how much time it will take to sort through everything, how difficult it might be to make decisions about what to keep and what to throw away. The idea of spending hours on it feels exhausting. But if you commit to spending just 5 minutes, set a timer, and organize one small section of your closet, that's it. 5 minutes. You might find that after that time is up, you've already made progress, and you might feel motivated to keep going. Even if you don't, you've made a dent in the task, and that's progress. The beauty of the 5-minute rule is that it works for anything. Whether it's writing an email you've been putting off, starting a workout, or tackling a big project at work, 5 minutes is all you need to get started. The key is to make the initial action small enough that it feels easy. The less you think about the size of the task, and the more you focus on taking that first step, the more momentum you'll build. This rule doesn't just apply to tasks that you find difficult or tedious. It can be just as effective for building positive habits. Let's say you want to start reading more. Instead of setting a goal of reading a chapter every day, commit to reading just 5 pages. At first, 5 pages might seem like nothing, but after a few minutes, you'll find yourself getting into the story. Before you know it, you'll be reading more than 5 pages, and you've already formed a new habit. It's that easy. One of the reasons this rule works so well is that it bypasses the mental blocks that keep us from starting. We tend to overthink things, imagining how difficult or time-consuming a task will be. Our brains are wired to avoid discomfort, so we procrastinate. The 5-minute rule short-circuits that process. It makes the task small enough that it no longer feels daunting, and once you start, you're often able to keep going. Another important aspect of the 5-minute rule is that it helps you build consistency. Consistency is one of the most important factors in achieving success. It's not the big, dramatic actions that get you results. It's the small, consistent actions over time. By committing to 5 minutes each day, you begin to create a routine. You start building momentum, and eventually, the small actions add up to big changes. It's the compound effect in action. Think about a time when you've seen a small change build into something big. Maybe it was learning a new language, or getting better at a sport, or even just sticking with a new healthy habit. The key wasn't making big, sweeping changes all at once. The key was consistency. And when you start with 5 minutes a day, that consistency becomes easier to maintain. The 5-minute rule is also incredibly powerful because it takes the pressure off. When we think we need to dedicate hours to something, we can feel overwhelmed and defeated before we even start. The thought of taking on a big project or making a significant change can paralyze us, but by focusing on 5 minutes, we take away the mental burden. There's no pressure to do everything at once. Just 5 minutes. That's it. It's achievable. It's doable. And once you've started, you'll often feel motivated to continue. This rule doesn't just apply to the tasks you dread. It's also great for building positive habits and making small incremental improvements in your life. Want to exercise more? Start with 5 minutes of stretching or a short walk. Want to eat healthier? Commit to making one healthy meal or snack a day for 5 minutes. Over time, these small actions become a part of your routine, and eventually they lead to lasting change. Another benefit of the 5-minute rule is that it helps you overcome perfectionism. Many of us avoid starting something because we're afraid we won't do it perfectly. We worry that if we can't complete a task the right way, it's better not to start at all. But when you commit to just 5 minutes, there's no expectation for perfection. You don't need to finish everything or do it perfectly. The goal is simply to take that first step and make progress. That's what matters. When you adopt the 5-minute rule, you also start to develop a stronger sense of discipline. The more you commit to doing something for 5 minutes each day, the more you train yourself to take action, even when you don't feel like it. Discipline isn't about being perfect or doing everything perfectly every time. It's about showing up, taking small steps, and continuing to move forward. Over time, this discipline becomes second nature. You don't have to rely on motivation or willpower. You just do it. As you continue to apply the 5-minute rule in your life, you'll notice something amazing happening. You start to change your habits without even realizing it. You begin to take action more quickly, you start to make progress faster, and you build a sense of accomplishment that fuels your motivation. You might be surprised at how much you can get done with just 5 minutes a day. It's not about working harder or longer, it's about working smarter. Small, consistent actions lead to big results over time. The 5-minute rule isn't just about getting things done, it's about creating a mindset that embraces progress over perfection. It's about breaking down tasks into manageable pieces and taking the pressure off. It's about showing up for yourself, even when you don't feel like it, and making progress, no matter how small. Over time, you'll notice that 5 minutes becomes a gateway to bigger things. You'll start to tackle tasks with more ease, build habits that stick, and create momentum that carries you forward. And before you know it, what once seemed like an impossible goal will become something you've achieved, step by step. Chapter 3. Thinking like the top 1%. What they know that you don't. The people who make it to the top in life, the ones who build businesses, become successful, and live life on their terms often, have one thing in common. They think differently. They don't just think about the world in the same way as most people. They don't see challenges as roadblocks. They see them as opportunities. They don't see failure as the end, but as a stepping stone. The top 1% of achievers think differently, and their way of thinking can be learned, adopted, and applied by anyone willing to change their approach to life. The first thing that sets them apart is their ability to look beyond the present moment. While many people focus on short-term obstacles and what they can see in front of them right now, successful people look at the long game. They understand that success isn't about instant gratification, it's about persistence and vision. They think about where they want to be in 5 or 10 years, and they make decisions that will help them get there. This ability to see the big picture is what allows them to stay motivated, even when they face setbacks. Instead of getting caught up in the frustrations of today, they keep their eyes on the bigger prize. The mindset of the top 1% is also driven by belief. They believe in themselves, in their abilities, and in their potential. It doesn't mean they think they're perfect or that they know everything. It means they have a deep, unwavering belief that they can learn, grow, and figure things out. This belief is what fuels their determination. It keeps them going when things aren't easy. When others might give up, they push through because they believe that their efforts will pay off. They're not afraid of making mistakes because they understand that mistakes are simply lessons in disguise. One of the most powerful things that successful people do is take action. They don't sit around waiting for things to be perfect before they start. They understand that progress comes from doing, not from planning endlessly or waiting for the right time. They start where they are with what they have and they keep going. The top 1% don't get paralyzed by indecision. They take action, even if it's imperfect. They understand that action creates momentum, and momentum leads to results. Another key difference between the top achievers and everyone else is their willingness to take risks. They understand that there's no such thing as guaranteed success, but they also understand that without taking risks, nothing new will happen. They don't take reckless risks, but they are willing to step out of their comfort zone, try new things, and embrace uncertainty. They know that playing it safe leads to stagnation, and they are not afraid to fail. In fact, they often see failure as an important part of the journey. It's through failure that they learn, grow, and get closer to their ultimate goals. The top 1% don't fear failure. They embrace it as part of the process. Another thing that sets them apart is their ability to handle rejection and criticism. While many people let rejection define them or stop them from moving forward, the top 1% don't let it affect their self-worth. They know that rejection is a normal part of life, especially when they're pushing themselves to achieve big things. They understand that rejection doesn't mean they aren't good enough. It simply means that they haven't found the right path yet. They keep going, learning from each rejection, and using it as motivation to keep moving forward. The top achievers don't get bogged down by negative feedback. They use it as fuel to improve and keep pushing ahead. People who achieve great things also tend to be extremely focused. They don't waste time on things that don't align with their goals. They understand that time is one of the most valuable resources they have, and they use it wisely. They prioritize what matters, and they're not easily distracted by things that won't help them achieve their long-term vision. Their focus allows them to take consistent action, day after day, toward their goals. It's this consistency that compounds over time and leads to success. While others might get sidetracked by the latest trend or the next shiny object, the top 1% keep their eyes on the prize and remain committed to their path. Successful people are also great at learning from others. They don't believe that they have all the answers, and they're not afraid to ask for help or seek out advice from those who have gone before them. They actively seek out mentors, read books, listen to podcasts, and surround themselves with people who can teach them new things. They understand that learning is a lifelong process, and they are always looking for ways to grow and improve. Instead of being defensive about their knowledge or experiences, they remain open to new ideas and are constantly refining their approach. What also makes the top 1% stand out is their ability to adapt. Life is unpredictable, and the road to success is rarely a straight line. Things will change, and obstacles will arise. But successful people don't get discouraged when things don't go according to plan. They adapt. They pivot when necessary, adjusting their strategies and approaches to deal with new circumstances. They stay flexible, knowing that the path to success isn't always clear, but they also know that they can adjust and keep moving forward. Their ability to adapt gives them the resilience they need to overcome challenges and keep progressing. One of the most important characteristics of the top achievers is their ability to stay persistent. No matter how many times they fail, how many rejections they face, or how tough things get, they don't quit. They understand that success takes time, and they are willing to keep working toward their goals, no matter how long it takes. They don't give up after the first obstacle or after the 10th. They keep going because they know that every setback is just part of the process. Their persistence is what ultimately leads them to success. The mindset of the top 1% is also characterized by a sense of gratitude. Successful people understand the importance of appreciating what they have, even as they strive for more. They know that gratitude helps them stay positive and focused, and it reminds them of how far they've come. Gratitude also helps them stay grounded, ensuring that they don't take their success for granted. They celebrate their wins, but they never lose sight of the people and the experiences that have helped them along the way. People who think like the top 1% also have a sense of purpose. They know why they do what they do. Their goals are driven by a deeper sense of meaning, whether it's to provide for their families, help others, or create something lasting. This sense of purpose keeps them motivated even when times get tough. It gives them something to hold on to when they feel like giving up. It's their why that keeps them going, and it helps them stay focused on what truly matters. At the core of the top achiever's mindset is the belief that they can create their own success. They don't sit around waiting for opportunities to come to them. They go out and create their own opportunities. They understand that success doesn't happen by chance. It's the result of deliberate action, belief, and persistence. They take responsibility for their lives and their outcomes. They know that if they want something, they have the power to go after it and make it happen. If you want to think like the top 1%, it's not about trying to copy what they do, it's about adopting their mindset. You don't need to have a unique talent or be in the right place at the right time. What you need is the mindset of possibility, the belief that you can achieve anything you set your mind to, and the willingness to take consistent action. The more you develop this mindset, the more you'll start to see opportunities around you. You'll begin to think differently, act differently, and ultimately, you'll start to create the success you've always dreamed of. It's not about being perfect. It's about being persistent, adaptable, and committed to your vision. Chapter 4. Rewiring your brain for wealth. Your brain is a powerful tool. It's more than just an organ. It's the control center for your entire life. It shapes how you see the world, how you react to things, and ultimately how you approach challenges and opportunities. But for most people, the brain operates on autopilot, following old patterns, limiting beliefs, and habits that may no longer serve them. To truly build wealth and success, you need to rewire your brain to think in ways that support your goals, to act in alignment with your desires, and to adopt a mindset of abundance rather than scarcity. Rewiring your brain isn't something that happens overnight. It's a gradual process of shifting your thinking from limiting beliefs and fear-based actions to thoughts and behaviors that empower you. The first step is recognizing the thoughts and patterns that are holding you back. Most people don't realize how often they think negatively or how much their mindset limits their success. From the time you wake up to the time you go to sleep, you're thinking, and those thoughts directly influence your actions. If your thoughts are filled with doubts, fears, and worries, you'll likely make decisions based on those emotions. On the other hand, if your thoughts are filled with confidence, possibility, and excitement, you'll find opportunities everywhere. One of the most common ways people sabotage themselves is through negative self-talk. It's that voice in your head telling you that you're not good enough, not smart enough, or not worthy of success. That voice doesn't belong to you. It's a product of years of conditioning, past experiences, and societal influences. But the great news is that you have the power to change it. Rewiring your brain starts with changing your self-talk. When you catch yourself thinking something negative, pause and replace it with something positive. Instead of thinking, "I'll never be able to do this," replace it with, "I am capable of figuring this out." Instead of thinking, "I don't have the skills for that," replace it with, "I'm constantly learning and growing." Your brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. It responds to the messages you send it. So, when you start speaking to yourself in empowering ways, your brain begins to create new neural pathways that align with these positive beliefs. Over time, these new pathways become stronger, and your old, limiting beliefs fade away. It's like creating a new default setting for your brain. This is the beginning of rewiring your mind for wealth and success. The next step is to focus on the stories you tell yourself about money. Most people have deeply ingrained beliefs about money that were formed in childhood. These beliefs can come from parents, teachers, or even society at large. For many, money is seen as something scarce, something hard to come by, or something that's only for certain people. These beliefs can create a mindset of scarcity which can prevent you from taking the actions needed to build wealth. If you believe that money is hard to make, you'll likely shy away from opportunities or avoid taking risks. If you believe that there's never enough money to go around, you might hoard what you have or avoid investing in yourself or your future. To rewire your brain, you need to challenge these beliefs and replace them with more empowering ones. Start by reframing how you think about money. Instead of seeing it as something that's hard to come by, see it as an abundant resource that flows to you easily. Start telling yourself that there is always enough money for you to achieve your goals, that money is a tool for creating the life you desire, and that the more value you offer to others, the more money will come your way. As you change your beliefs about money, you'll start to take different actions. You'll begin to look for opportunities to create value, to invest in yourself, and to build wealth, rather than avoiding these things out of fear or scarcity. Another important part of rewiring your brain for success is adopting a growth mindset. A growth mindset is the belief that you can develop your abilities and intelligence through effort, learning, and persistence. People with a growth mindset don't believe that their abilities are fixed. They believe that they can improve and grow. They're not afraid to fail because they see failure as a learning opportunity rather than a sign of their limitations. This mindset is essential for success because it helps you stay motivated in the face of challenges. It encourages you to embrace difficulties, to keep trying, and to believe that with effort you can always improve. If you find yourself thinking in fixed mindset terms, like, "I'm not good at that," or "I can't do it," stop and ask yourself, what if I could learn this? What if I could improve with time and practice? These small shifts in thinking can make a huge difference in your success. When you approach challenges with a growth mindset, you'll see them as opportunities to develop your skills and knowledge. Instead of backing away from challenges, you'll lean into them, knowing that they are part of the process of becoming better, smarter, and more successful. Part of rewiring your brain for wealth is also learning to visualize your success. Visualization is a powerful tool for conditioning your mind to focus on your goals and your desired outcomes. The more clearly you can picture yourself achieving your goals, the more your brain will work to make that reality come true. Visualization helps you create a roadmap in your mind of how to get from where you are now to where you want to be. It helps you see the path forward and keeps you focused on your destination even when things get tough. Start by setting aside a few minutes each day to visualize your success. Picture yourself achieving your goals, whether it's starting a business, landing a big client, or making your first $1 million. See yourself taking the necessary steps, overcoming obstacles, and enjoying the rewards of your hard work. The more vivid and detailed you can make your visualization, the more effective it will be. As you visualize, you're training your brain to believe that your goals are possible. This visualization process also helps to boost your confidence. It allows you to see yourself succeeding before it even happens, and that belief in your own success is essential for taking action and making it real. Along with visualization, another way to rewire your brain is by surrounding yourself with positive influences. The people you spend time with, the media you consume, and the conversations you engage in all shape your mindset. If you're constantly around negative, pessimistic people who don't believe in your dreams, it will be harder for you to stay motivated and focused on your goals. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with people who support your growth, who encourage your dreams, and who challenge you to be your best, you'll find that it's much easier to stay on track. Seek out mentors, join communities of like-minded individuals, and fill your mind with positive, inspiring content. Read books, listen to podcasts, and watch videos that motivate you to think bigger and act boldly. When you immerse yourself in this kind of positive influence, you'll find that your mindset starts to shift naturally. You'll begin to adopt the same habits and beliefs as the people you surround yourself with. And over time, this will help rewire your brain for wealth and success. Rewiring your brain for wealth is a process that takes time and effort, but it's one of the most powerful things you can do for yourself. The more you shift your thoughts and beliefs to align with your goals, the more your actions will follow suit. As you begin to see yourself as someone who is capable of achieving great things, you'll naturally take the steps needed to make those things happen. You'll stop waiting for the perfect moment, and you'll start creating the success you desire. Rewiring your brain is not just about thinking positively, it's about changing the deep-seated beliefs that have been holding you back. When you do this, you unlock your true potential, and you set yourself on the path to lasting wealth and success. Chapter 5. The Power of I Am Statements. The power of words is undeniable. What you say to yourself and to others shapes your reality in ways you may not even realize. Every day, you are speaking to yourself, whether you're consciously aware of it or not. The thoughts that flow through your mind, the words that come out of your mouth, and the beliefs you hold about yourself are all creating the life you're living. If you want to build wealth, achieve success, and live the life you desire, it's essential to understand the incredible influence that words have over your life and to learn how to use them to your advantage. One of the most transformative ways to change your mindset is through the use of I am statements. These two words are incredibly powerful because they define who you believe yourself to be. The way you view yourself directly affects how you show up in the world. If you say, I am not good enough, or I am not capable, you're reinforcing that belief and limiting your potential. On the other hand, if you say, I am capable, or I am worthy of success, you are declaring to the universe and to yourself that you are someone who can achieve great things. These declarations shape your actions, your beliefs, and ultimately your outcomes. The key to making I am statements work for you is to make them specific and positive. Rather than saying vague or negative things like, I am not broke, try saying, I am financially abundant and money flows to me easily. Instead of saying, I am not afraid of failure, say, I am confident and resilient, and I embrace challenges as opportunities for growth. The more specific and positive you can be in your statements, the more they will impact your behavior and your mindset. Your brain begins to believe whatever you tell it. So if you consistently tell yourself that you are successful, capable, and deserving of wealth, your actions will begin to align with that belief. Another key aspect of using I am statements effectively is to use them in the present tense. Your subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imagined. It simply accepts whatever information you feed it. When you say, I am financially successful, or I am a successful entrepreneur, your brain believes that you are already that person, not someone who might be successful in the future. This shifts your mindset from one of scarcity and limitation to one of abundance and possibility. It also helps you align your actions with your goals, because when you start believing that you are already successful, you'll begin to take the actions that successful people take. You might be thinking, how can I say these things when I'm not yet where I want to be? It's a fair question, and it's important to understand that I am statements aren't about pretending that you're already at your desired destination. They're about claiming the identity of the person you want to become. The more you claim that identity, the more it will influence your choices and behaviors. If you say, I am wealthy, even when you're not financially where you want to be, your brain will start to look for opportunities to help you align with that reality. It will start to focus on ways to make more money, find new income streams, and build the habits of a wealthy person. It's not about ignoring where you are right now. It's about focusing on where you're going and stepping into the identity of the person who has already achieved those goals. One of the reasons why I am statements work so effectively is that they help you reprogram your subconscious mind. Your subconscious mind is the part of you that runs on autopilot. It's responsible for your habits, beliefs, and the way you view the world. It doesn't analyze or question the thoughts that come in, it simply accepts them as truth. This is why so many people get stuck in limiting patterns, because they have been feeding their subconscious mind negative fear-based beliefs for years. To change your reality, you need to change the beliefs that your subconscious mind is operating on. I am statements are a powerful tool to reprogram that part of your mind. In addition to the words you speak to yourself, the way you speak about others is also important. If you're constantly speaking negatively about others, it reflects a mindset of scarcity and competition. But if you focus on speaking positively about others, celebrating their success, and lifting them up, it creates an abundance mindset. When you can appreciate the success of others without feeling threatened, you open yourself up to more opportunities and experiences. You start to believe that there's enough success to go around for everyone, and that when others succeed, it doesn't take away from your success, it only adds to the energy of abundance in the world. The way you talk about money is another critical aspect of rewiring your mindset. Many people have negative beliefs about money, and these beliefs are often reflected in the way they talk about it. They might say things like, "Money is hard to come by," or "There's never enough money." These statements create a belief system that aligns with scarcity and lack. But when you start talking about money differently, your relationship with it begins to change. Instead of saying, "I can't afford that," try saying, "How can I afford that?" This simple shift opens your mind to the possibility of finding a way to make it happen. It challenges your thinking and encourages you to look for opportunities, solutions, and creative ways to generate more income. Talking about money in a positive, abundant way is one of the first steps in changing your financial reality. It helps you see money as a tool for creating the life you want, rather than something to fear or avoid. The more you talk about money in an empowering way, the more you'll attract it into your life. This doesn't mean that you'll suddenly find piles of cash falling from the sky, but it does mean that your mindset will shift to one of abundance, and as a result, you'll start making smarter financial decisions, seeking out new opportunities, and creating wealth. I am statements can also help you overcome obstacles and push through tough times. Life is never a straight path, and challenges will come your way. But when you face challenges with the belief that you are capable, strong, and resilient, you'll be better equipped to handle them. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," or "This is too hard," you'll say, "I am resourceful," or "I am strong enough to get through this." These positive affirmations help you stay focused and motivated, even when things are tough. They remind you that you are capable of overcoming anything that comes your way. It's also important to use I am statements when it comes to your health and well-being. Often, people focus on their financial success without considering the importance of their health. But true wealth is about more than just money. It's about having the energy, vitality, and mindset to enjoy the success you've created. By using positive I am statements related to your health, you can begin to build a mindset of well-being and vitality. For example, you might say, "I am healthy and strong," or "I am committed to taking care of my body." These statements not only improve your health, but they also help you approach your goals with the energy and focus you need to achieve them. One of the most powerful things you can do is make I am statements a daily practice. The more you say them, the more they become ingrained in your subconscious mind. Start each day with a few minutes of affirmations. Write them down, say them aloud, or even repeat them silently to yourself. As you begin your day with these positive declarations, you set the tone for everything that follows. It's like setting an intention for the day. You are telling yourself and the universe that you are capable of achieving your goals, that you are deserving of success, and that you are ready to take action. As you make these statements a regular part of your routine, you'll begin to see shifts in your life. Your mindset will transform, your actions will align with your desires, and you'll start to experience the wealth and success you've been working toward. Remember, the words you speak create your reality. Choose them wisely. Speak to yourself with love, confidence, and belief, and watch as your life begins to reflect the greatness that you already possess. Chapter 6. How to Master Self-Discipline in 21 Days. Achieving success isn't an overnight process. It's not something you can simply wish for and hope it happens. Success takes time, and more importantly, it takes discipline. Without discipline, your dreams and goals will remain just that, dreams. Mastering self-discipline is one of the most important skills you can develop on your journey to wealth and success. Self-discipline is the ability to control your emotions, behaviors, and actions in the face of temptations and distractions. It's what keeps you focused on your long-term goals, even when the short-term rewards might seem more appealing. It's the ability to stay on track and do what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. The good news is that self-discipline isn't something you're born with. It's something that can be developed, strengthened, and honed over time. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. One of the first steps in mastering self-discipline is understanding why it's important. Without discipline, you'll easily fall prey to procrastination, distractions, and bad habits. You might have great ideas, but without the ability to execute them consistently, those ideas won't get you anywhere. Success is built on small, consistent actions taken over time. If you're constantly starting and stopping, making excuses, or giving into distractions, it's going to be difficult to achieve anything of significance. But with discipline, you can focus on the task at hand, stay committed to your goals, and build momentum towards success. One of the keys to mastering self-discipline is breaking your larger goals into smaller, more manageable tasks. If you try to take on too much at once, it can feel overwhelming. But when you break things down into smaller steps, it becomes easier to take action. Instead of saying, "I want to be a millionaire," break that goal down into achievable milestones. What can you do today, this week, this month, and this year to get closer to that goal? When you focus on taking small, consistent actions each day, you start to build a sense of accomplishment and momentum that keeps you moving forward. It's those small wins that add up over time and lead to bigger results. Another important aspect of self-discipline is developing good habits. Successful people don't just rely on motivation to get things done, they rely on habits. Motivation comes and goes, but habits are what keep you moving forward when your energy or enthusiasm starts to fade. When you create positive habits, you make success inevitable. Think about the habits of successful people: waking up early, exercising regularly, reading and learning, working consistently on their goals. These habits help them stay disciplined and focused on what matters. You can create your own success habits by focusing on the things that will move you closer to your goals each day. It might be something as simple as spending 30 minutes a day on your business, reading a personal development book, or planning your day the night before. These small, positive habits will compound over time and lead to bigger results. To build self-discipline, you also need to be willing to make sacrifices. Success often requires you to give up things that might feel good in the moment, but don't align with your long-term goals. Whether it's saying no to distractions, cutting out unhealthy habits, or making the choice to put in the work when you'd rather take a break, self-discipline requires you to make tough decisions. It might mean saying no to things you enjoy, or putting in extra effort when you'd rather relax. But remember, these sacrifices are temporary. They're investments in your future success. When you make the choice to delay gratification and stay disciplined, you are building a foundation for lasting success. Staying disciplined also requires a certain level of self-awareness. You need to be honest with yourself about your strengths and weaknesses. What are your biggest distractions? What do you struggle with? What triggers your procrastination? When you're aware of your own tendencies, you can take steps to avoid or minimize those distractions. For example, if you know that social media is a major distraction for you, you might set specific times during the day to check your accounts, or you might use an app to block your access during certain hours. If you're prone to procrastination, You might break your tasks into smaller chunks or use a timer to stay focused for short periods. The more aware you are of your own habits and tendencies, the easier it will be to stay disciplined and stay on track. Another important aspect of self-discipline is learning to push through discomfort. Often, the tasks that are the most important are the ones that require the most effort. They might feel difficult, uncomfortable, or even boring in the moment, but they are the tasks that will move you closer to your goals. If you wait for motivation to strike, you might never take action. But if you push through the discomfort and do the work anyway, you'll build discipline and you'll start to see progress. This is where perseverance comes in. The ability to keep going, even when things get tough, is what separates successful people from those who give up too soon. Success isn't always about doing what feels easy. It's about doing what needs to be done, even when it's hard. Building self-discipline doesn't happen overnight. It's a process that takes time, effort, and patience. You won't become disciplined in one day, but with consistent practice, you will start to see improvements. And the more you practice, the easier it will become. You'll start to see that discipline isn't a punishment or something that limits your freedom. It's the key to unlocking your full potential. When you are disciplined, you have control over your actions and you are able to focus on what truly matters. You can make intentional choices that align with your goals, and you'll find that the things you once thought were impossible become achievable. Another helpful tool in developing self-discipline is accountability. Having someone to hold you accountable can help you stay on track and stay motivated. This could be a mentor, a friend, or even a colleague who shares similar goals. When you know that someone is checking in on your progress, it's easier to stay disciplined and committed to your actions. You're more likely to follow through with your goals when you have someone who is cheering you on and holding you accountable. Accountability helps you stay consistent and reminds you of the bigger picture when it's easy to get distracted or discouraged. One of the biggest challenges to building self-discipline is dealing with setbacks and failures. There will be times when you slip up or fall off track. You might miss a day of work, eat something you shouldn't, or let distractions get the best of you. But it's important not to let these setbacks derail your progress. The key is to get back on track as soon as possible and not dwell on the mistakes. Self-discipline isn't about being perfect, it's about being consistent. The most successful people aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who keep going despite their failures. They learn from their mistakes, adjust their approach, and keep moving forward. To stay disciplined, you also need to be kind to yourself. Self-discipline doesn't mean beating yourself up when you make a mistake. It means recognizing when you've gone off course, accepting it, and making the decision to do better moving forward. Self-discipline is about progress, not perfection. It's about being consistent, staying focused, and never giving up on your goals, even when things get tough. As you practice self-discipline, you'll begin to see the results of your hard work. Your productivity will increase, your goals will become more achievable, and you'll feel more confident in your ability to achieve success. Self-discipline is the foundation upon which everything else is built. It's what helps you create momentum, stay focused, and keep moving forward, even when obstacles arise. By mastering self-discipline, you'll unlock the door to the success you've always dreamed of. Chapter 7. Embrace your fear and let it fuel you. Fear is something that every one of us experiences. Whether you are pursuing a dream, making a big decision, or trying something new, fear seems to be right there holding us back. But the reality is, fear doesn't have to control you. In fact, fear can be a powerful tool that helps you grow and move forward if you learn how to embrace it. The truth is, fear doesn't disappear just because you want it to, but you can choose how to respond to it. Fear is often seen as something to avoid, something that should stop you in your tracks. It's a survival instinct that's ingrained in all of us. It's the thing that makes us freeze when facing danger, that quickens our heartbeat when we're in a stressful situation. But fear isn't just about danger. Sometimes the fear you feel is just the result of stepping outside of your comfort zone. And that's exactly when you need to embrace it. When we face new challenges, fear often shows up in the form of doubt. Am I good enough for this? What if I fail? What if people don't believe in me? These thoughts can stop you from taking action, keeping you stuck in a cycle of inaction. But those fears are often based on assumptions, not facts. Most of the time, the worst-case scenario you imagine doesn't actually happen. In fact, facing your fear is often the best way to overcome it. One of the most powerful things you can do is to stop running from your fear and instead lean into it. That might sound strange at first, but it's true. Fear is an emotion that signals something important, that you are stepping into new territory. You're doing something that challenges you, something that requires growth. The only way to break through that fear is to move toward it, rather than away from it. When fear shows up, it's easy to tell yourself to back off, to find something safe, something familiar. But doing that won't help you grow. Staying in your comfort zone might feel good in the moment, but it won't get you closer to the life you want. Fear is there because you're pushing yourself to become something more. It's your mind's way of saying, this is new, this is different, this is important. And the more you push past that fear, the more you build the muscle of resilience. Take a moment to think about the last time you felt afraid of doing something, whether it was speaking up in a meeting, starting a new project, or even talking to someone you admire. What happened when you chose to face that fear? Often, the reality is far less daunting than we expect. And even if things don't go perfectly, there's always something to learn from the experience. By facing your fear, you take away its power over you. Another important aspect of embracing fear is understanding that it doesn't mean you're not capable. In fact, fear often comes up when we're stretching beyond our current abilities. It's a signal that you're growing, that you're doing something that requires you to reach new heights. So, instead of seeing fear as a roadblock, view it as a sign that you're on the right path. Think about the times in your life when you've overcome something difficult. Maybe it was a personal challenge or a professional setback. Maybe you were uncertain about your ability to succeed, but you pushed through anyway. Looking back, those were the moments when you learned the most, when you gained the confidence to keep going. Fear didn't hold you back, it pushed you to keep going. Each time you face fear, you gain more confidence, and with that confidence comes the ability to take on even bigger challenges. There's also something to be said for reframing fear. Instead of thinking of it as something negative, try seeing it as excitement. That flutter in your stomach before doing something new is not just fear, it's your body's way of preparing you to take action. It's your mind and body gearing up for something important. Recognizing this can help you shift your perspective so that fear becomes a source of energy rather than a hindrance. It's important to realize that everyone feels fear. Even the most successful people you admire have experienced fear along the way. The difference is that they didn't let it stop them. They used it as fuel to keep going. When you look at someone who has achieved great things, it's not because they were fearless, it's because they didn't let fear hold them back. They learned to take action despite their fear. There's also the idea of starting small. Sometimes fear is so overwhelming because we're looking at the big picture, at the whole mountain that we need to climb. But when you break that mountain down into smaller steps, it becomes more manageable. Instead of worrying about the entire process, focus on taking the next small step. Each step forward builds confidence, and as you progress, the fear starts to fade into the background. The more you take those small steps, the more you realize that fear isn't something to be feared at all. It's just part of the journey. One of the keys to facing fear is taking action. Action is the antidote to fear. The more you take action, the less fear will have a hold on you. Even if you're unsure or feel unprepared, taking that first step will give you the clarity and confidence you need to keep going. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is simply act, even when you don't have all the answers. Action creates momentum, and momentum will help you push through the fear. Another helpful technique in embracing fear is to surround yourself with people who support you. Having a strong support system can make all the difference when you're facing fear. Whether it's a friend, a mentor, or a community, having people around you who believe in you can give you the strength to keep moving forward. When fear starts to creep in, lean on those who encourage you to keep going and who remind you of your ability to succeed. Their belief in you can help you stay focused and determined. Facing your fear also means learning to deal with failure. It's inevitable there will be times when things don't go as planned, when you stumble, or when you fall short. But failure isn't the end. It's simply a part of the process. Every time you fail, you gain valuable experience that you can use to do better next time. Instead of being afraid of failure, embrace it as part of the learning process. Each failure is just one step closer to success. Fear is a natural part of life, but it doesn't have to control you. You have the power to choose how you respond to it. When you embrace fear, you open yourself up to growth and transformation. By facing your fears head-on, you develop the resilience and courage you need to move forward. Fear is not your enemy, it's your ally, showing you where you need to grow and pushing you toward the life you truly want. Fear isn't something to run from, it's something to embrace. It's your ticket to becoming the person you're meant to be. Chapter 8. Unleash your inner genius. Overcoming self-doubt. Self-doubt is one of the most common obstacles people face when they're trying to make progress in life. It's a voice in your head that tells you you're not good enough, that you're not capable of reaching your goals, that others are smarter or more talented than you. And even if you know deep down that you have what it takes, that voice can still be powerful, holding you back from taking the next step. The first thing to understand about self-doubt is that it's normal. Everyone experiences it at some point. In fact, some of the most successful people have had to battle it. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't that they didn't feel doubt, it's that they learned to overcome it. A lot of times, self-doubt comes from comparing ourselves to others. We look at someone who's further along in their journey and think, I'll never be as good as them. But what we don't see are the years of hard work and struggles they've gone through to get where they are. We don't see the challenges they've faced, the failures they've encountered, or the self-doubt they've had to fight off. Instead of focusing on others, it's important to focus on your own journey and take pride in the progress you've made. The second thing to realize is that self-doubt often stems from fear of failure. We're afraid of falling short, of not living up to our potential, of disappointing others. This fear can paralyze us, making it difficult to take action or make decisions. But what's important to remember is that failure is not the end, it's just a part of the process. Every successful person has experienced failure at some point. The key is not to let failure define you, but to use it as a learning experience. To overcome self-doubt, you need to shift your focus from what you might lose to what you can gain. It's easy to get caught up in the potential for failure, but that keeps you stuck. Instead, start thinking about what's possible if you push through the fear and take action. What's on the other side of that self-doubt? What could you achieve if you stopped holding yourself back? One way to challenge self-doubt is by reminding yourself of your past successes. Think about a time when you overcame a challenge or accomplished something you were proud of. It could be something big, like graduating from college, or something smaller, like learning a new skill or completing a project. Reflecting on these moments can help you realize that you are capable of more than you give yourself credit for. It's easy to forget the times you've succeeded when you're in the middle of self-doubt, but looking back on your accomplishments can remind you that you've faced challenges before and come out stronger. Another powerful tool for overcoming self-doubt is self-affirmation. When that negative voice starts creeping in, counter it with positive affirmations. These are simple, positive statements that remind you of your strengths and abilities. For example, you can tell yourself, I am capable of handling this challenge, or I have the skills and determination to succeed. Repeating these affirmations can help rewire your brain to focus on your potential rather than your limitations. It's also helpful to surround yourself with people who believe in you. When you're feeling unsure of yourself, having a strong support system can make all the difference. The people you spend the most time with should be those who lift you up, who encourage you, and who remind you of your worth. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity or people who doubt you, it's much harder to fight off your own doubts. But when you have a positive, supportive group of people around you, it becomes easier to believe in yourself and your abilities. Another important step in overcoming self-doubt is to take action, even when you don't feel ready. Often, we get stuck in a cycle of overthinking, where we're so focused on the possibility of failure that we never actually take the steps necessary to move forward. But the truth is, you'll never feel 100% ready for anything. The key is to take small, consistent steps toward your goals, even if they're imperfect. Each step you take, no matter how small, will build your confidence and make it easier to keep going. Sometimes it's also helpful to break big goals down into smaller, more manageable tasks. When you look at a big goal, it's easy to feel overwhelmed and doubt your ability to achieve it. But when you break it down into smaller steps, it becomes less intimidating. Focus on the next immediate task, and once you accomplish it, move on to the next. This will help you build momentum and overcome the feeling of being stuck. Another way to combat self-doubt is to focus on the present moment, rather than getting caught up in the what-ifs of the future. It's easy to imagine all the things that could go wrong, but those scenarios are often exaggerated and unlikely to happen. Instead of worrying about the future, focus on what you can do right now to move forward. Taking action in the present will help you stay grounded and reduce the power of self-doubt. It's also important to acknowledge that self-doubt often arises when we're stepping outside of our comfort zone. When we're doing something new or unfamiliar, it's natural to question our abilities. But stepping outside of your comfort zone is one of the best ways to grow. Every time you face a challenge, you expand your abilities and increase your confidence. Over time, you'll become more comfortable with the discomfort of uncertainty, and self-doubt will have less power over you. Remember that self-doubt is not a reflection of your actual abilities. It's just a thought, a feeling that you can choose to let go of. The more you practice challenging these doubts, the less they'll control you. Every time you push past your self-doubt, you prove to yourself that you are capable of achieving what you set out to do. And with each success, your confidence will grow, making it easier to tackle the next challenge. No one is immune to self-doubt, but with the right mindset and tools, you can learn to recognize it for what it is, a temporary feeling that doesn't define you. By shifting your focus, taking action, and surrounding yourself with support, you can overcome self-doubt and step into your full potential. The more you do this, the stronger and more confident you will become, and eventually self-doubt won't hold you back anymore. You'll see it for what it is, a passing thought that has no power over your ability to succeed. Chapter 9. The Art of Strategic Inaction. Knowing when to pause. There's an art to knowing when to pause. It might sound strange at first. We've been taught to keep pushing forward, to never stop, to always be moving. The hustle culture tells us that success comes only to those who work tirelessly, constantly grinding toward their goals. But that constant pressure can lead to burnout, stress, and a lack of clarity. The truth is, sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to stop for a moment, take a breath, and simply pause. Pausing doesn't mean giving up or quitting. It doesn't mean you're abandoning your goals or dreams. What it means is that you're giving yourself the time and space to recalibrate, to gain perspective, and to gather the energy you need to move forward with renewed focus. When you pause, you allow yourself the chance to step back and assess the situation from a different angle. Often, we get so caught up in the day-to-day tasks and the urgency of everything that we forget to step back and evaluate where we are and where we're headed. A pause allows you to reconnect with your purpose, to remind yourself why you started in the first place. The world moves fast. and the demands on our time seem endless. There's always something to do, someone to respond to, some new project that needs attention. But constantly running from one task to the next can make it difficult to think clearly or make thoughtful decisions. When you take a pause, you give your mind a chance to catch up with your body. You allow yourself the opportunity to reflect on what's working and what's not. It's easy to get caught in the hustle and lose sight of the bigger picture. A pause is like taking a step back to see the whole landscape instead of just focusing on one part of it. Pausing also helps you avoid reacting impulsively. When you're in a rush, you're more likely to make decisions based on emotions or assumptions rather than thoughtful consideration. You might act out of frustration, impatience, or fear. But when you take a moment to pause, you can approach the situation with a clearer mind. You give yourself the opportunity to think things through, to consider all the options, and to make decisions that are aligned with your goals and values. It's not about being indecisive, it's about taking the time to make the best choice. Another benefit of pausing is that it helps you conserve your energy. Running on empty, constantly pushing yourself, can lead to exhaustion. But by taking time to rest and recharge, you're able to give your best effort when it matters most. It's like maintaining a car. If you keep driving without checking the oil or refilling the gas, the car will eventually break down. But if you pause and perform regular maintenance, the car will run smoothly for a much longer time. The same principle applies to your body and mind. By taking pauses to rest, you replenish your energy so you can keep going without burning out. Taking a pause also allows you to reconnect with yourself. In the busyness of life, it's easy to lose sight of who you are and what you truly want. The world tells you what you should do, who you should be, and what success should look like. But when you pause, you create space to listen to your own thoughts and desires. You start to tune into your intuition and hear your own inner voice, the one that often gets drowned out by the noise of daily life. Pausing gives you the chance to reflect on your values, your priorities, and the direction you want to take. It's a reminder that you don't have to follow the crowd or live according to someone else's expectations. You have the power to create your own path. There's also a lot of power in pausing during moments of stress or conflict. When you're in a tense situation, your natural instinct might be to react quickly, to defend yourself, or to try to fix things right away. But reacting in the heat of the moment can often make things worse. Pausing gives you the chance to collect your thoughts and approach the situation with a calm and clear mind. It allows you to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting impulsively. This is especially important in relationships, whether personal or professional. Pausing before responding helps you maintain control over your emotions and ensures that your words and actions are aligned with your true intentions. You might be thinking that pausing sounds like something that could slow you down, that it's a luxury you don't have time for, but the reality is that pausing can actually speed up your progress in the long run. When you're constantly rushing from one thing to the next, you might end up making mistakes, missing opportunities, or losing sight of your goals. Pausing gives you the clarity and insight you need to avoid those pitfalls. By taking a moment to reflect and gather your thoughts, you make better decisions that will ultimately get you closer to your goals. One of the best times to pause is when you're feeling overwhelmed or stuck. It's easy to get caught in a cycle of frustration when things aren't going as planned. But instead of pushing through that feeling of being stuck, taking a break can help you regain your momentum. Sometimes when you step away from a problem or situation, the solution becomes clearer. Your mind needs time to process, and often the best ideas come when you give yourself permission to pause. When you take a break, you give yourself the freedom to let go of the pressure and trust that the answers will come when the time is right. A pause doesn't have to be long to be effective. It could be as simple as taking a few minutes to step outside and breathe deeply, or taking a short walk to clear your head. It might mean stepping away from a project for an hour or even a day, just to give yourself the time to reset. The key is to give yourself permission to slow down without feeling guilty about it. Pausing doesn't mean you're not working hard or that you're not committed to your goals. It means that you're taking care of yourself so you can show up as your best self. Sometimes pausing can also help you gain perspective on your goals. You might find that you've been working towards something that no longer aligns with what you truly want. Or maybe you realize that there's a better way to achieve your goals, one that feels more aligned with your values. A pause gives you the space to reassess your direction and make adjustments as needed. It's about being flexible and open to change, rather than staying locked into a path that no longer serves you. Ultimately, the ability to pause is an important tool in maintaining balance and clarity in your life. It's easy to get swept up in the constant rush of activity, but when you take a step back and breathe, you give yourself the chance to recalibrate and refocus. Pausing isn't a sign of weakness or indecision. It's a sign of strength and self-awareness. It's a powerful practice that allows you to keep moving forward with purpose, energy, and clarity. The next time you feel overwhelmed or unsure, give yourself permission to pause. It might just be the thing that helps you move ahead with greater confidence and direction. Chapter 10. Creating Your Future, the Habit of Visionary Thinking. Creating your future is one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. Too often, people wait for things to fall into place, believing that success is something that happens by chance or only to those with special advantages. But the truth is, success isn't about waiting for the perfect moment or hoping things work out. It's about actively shaping your future by the decisions you make today. Every choice you make, every thought you entertain, and every action you take has a direct impact on the life you're creating for yourself. The future is not some distant, undefined space that you eventually arrive at. It's something you're constantly crafting in every moment. To truly begin creating your future, you need to adopt a mindset that is centered around visionary thinking. This means actively picturing the life you want to live, the person you want to become, and the things you want to achieve. Visionary thinking isn't just about dreaming or wishful thinking. It's about building a clear mental image of your desired future and using that vision as a guiding force in your life. When you have a clear vision of where you want to go, every step you take becomes more purposeful. You are no longer drifting from day to day without a sense of direction. Instead, you have a roadmap to follow, and every action you take brings you one step closer to your destination. However, creating your future doesn't happen just by thinking about it. It's about taking intentional action based on that vision. Visionary thinking requires planning, commitment, and daily action. You need to break down your big goals into smaller, manageable steps so that you're making progress every day, even if it's just a small step. But the key is consistency. Consistency is what turns your dreams into reality. It's what turns your vision into a tangible outcome. You don't need to make giant leaps every day. Small, consistent efforts add up over time. It's like building a house. Each brick, no matter how small, contributes to the overall structure. Over time, you'll find that the house is complete, and you'll be living in the future you once only imagined. Having a vision for your future gives you a sense of purpose. It serves as your personal North Star, guiding you through challenges and helping you stay focused when obstacles arise. Life is unpredictable, and you will face setbacks and difficulties along the way. Without a clear vision, it's easy to get discouraged or distracted by the challenges. But with a vision in mind, you have a sense of direction that keeps you going, even when things get tough. When you can clearly see where you're headed, the bumps in the road become less daunting. You realize that each challenge is just a stepping stone toward your larger goal. One of the most powerful things about creating your future is that you are in control. Many people feel stuck or powerless, thinking that they don't have the ability to shape their lives. But the truth is, you have the power to create the future you want, regardless of your current circumstances. Your mindset, your choices, and your actions are all within your control. This doesn't mean that things will always go smoothly, but it does mean that you have the ability to steer your life in the direction you want to go. You can choose to focus on solutions instead of problems, and you can choose to take action rather than waiting for things to change. Your future is not dictated by your past, by other people, or by circumstances. It's created by the decisions you make every day. It's also important to realize that creating your future involves growth. As you work toward your vision, you will encounter challenges and situations that push you outside of your comfort zone. Growth comes when you step outside what you already know, when you take on things that seem difficult or unfamiliar. This process of growth is what shapes you into the person you need to be in order to achieve your vision. It's important to embrace this process, even when it feels uncomfortable. Growth is often messy, but it's necessary. Each time you push through a challenge or overcome an obstacle, you become stronger, wiser, and more capable of achieving your goals. Creating your future is also about setting clear, actionable goals. Visionary thinking without a plan is like setting out on a journey without a map. You might know the general direction you want to go in, but without a clear plan, it's easy to get lost along the way. When you set specific, measurable goals, you're giving yourself a clear target to aim for. But just setting goals isn't enough. You need to break them down into actionable steps and create a timeline for achieving them. Each goal should be broken into smaller tasks that you can work on daily. These smaller tasks keep you on track and prevent you from feeling overwhelmed by the big picture. Focus on one task at a time, and as you check things off, you'll see the progress you're making toward your larger goal. But there's more to creating your future than just setting goals and taking action. It's also about mindset. Your mindset shapes how you approach everything in life, including the pursuit of your goals. A growth mindset, believing that you can learn, improve, and develop your abilities over time, is essential for creating your future. When you have a growth mindset, you view challenges as opportunities to learn rather than obstacles to success. You understand that failure is not permanent, but just a part of the process of achieving success. A growth mindset encourages you to keep moving forward, even when things don't go as planned, because you know that every experience is helping you grow and improve. You'll also need to cultivate resilience in your journey of creating your future. Resilience is the ability to bounce back after setbacks, to continue pursuing your goals even when things don't go as expected. Life is full of challenges, and it's easy to get discouraged when things don't go your way, but resilience allows you to pick yourself up, learn from your mistakes, and keep moving forward. Resilience is what keeps you going when things get tough. It's what enables you to face difficulties with strength and determination, knowing that you can overcome them and keep progressing toward your future. Creating your future is about being adaptable. The future is unpredictable, and things won't always go according to plan. Being adaptable means being open to change and willing to adjust your course when necessary. Sometimes the path you envisioned might not be the one that leads you to your greatest success. It's important to remain flexible and open to new opportunities that may arise along the way. Adaptability allows you to make the most of changing circumstances and to continue moving toward your goals, even when things don't go as planned. Creating your future requires patience. It's easy to become frustrated when things don't happen quickly. But true success takes time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither is a successful life. The most meaningful accomplishments come from consistent effort over time. Trust the process and give yourself credit for every step you take toward your goals. As you continue to move forward, you'll realize that the future you're building is more than just the result of your efforts. It's also about the person you become along the way. Creating your future is not just about what you achieve, but also about the growth and transformation you experience in the process.